Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome you all in PIST Virtual Learning System session 2020. Dear students, this lecture is for grade first year and we are on chapter number 2. This is our 11th video lecture. So dear students, today I'm going to talk about main memory and the types of the main memory: RAM, DRAM, SRAM, ROM, PROM, EPROM, double EPROM, and then we will discuss secondary storage and the types of secondary storage: magnetic storage, optical storage, and chip storage. Random access memory, RAM. Dear students, RAM is a short form for random access memory, a type of a computer memory that can be accessed randomly. That is, any byte of memory can be accessed without touching the preceding bytes. So basically, RAM is a type of a main memory and the primary memory, and it means random access memory. It is the abbreviation of random access memory. Random means that you can select any location randomly. In RAM, you can access and you can select any location randomly. That's why it is called random access memory. RAM is found in servers, PCs, tablets, smartphones, and other devices such as printers. Random access memory is a computer's short-term memory. Short-term memory means that the time of saving data is short. When you will turn off your computer, your data will wash out. That's why it is called volatile memory. None of your programs, files would work without RAM, which is your computer's working space. So means that if you did not have any RAM and any working space in your computer area, so you cannot load, you cannot open any file and program in your computer. So this is a main working area where you can use your files and so RAM is one of the most fundamental elements of computing. RAM is the super fast and temporary data storage space that a computer needs to access right now or in the next few moments. So dear students, if you want to open any program and any file on your desktop, on your computer, so you must have a working area or a workspace. So RAM is a main memory and that workspace where your program files and folders are loaded every time. So it is the fastest and temporary memory. When you turn off your computer, so your data will wash out from the RAM. So dear students, basically RAM is the computer's main memory. The computer uses RAM constantly to temporarily storage information while it is working with it. RAM has to be fast enough to have the data and instructions ready for CPU when it needs it. RAM slots in a PC usually 1, 2, or 4 RAM chips. So you can have RAM slots on your motherboard and you can insert 1, 2, or 4 RAM chips. So you can see on your screen, this is your RAM chip. So you can insert this RAM chip on your motherboard. So usually we have 1 or 2 RAM chip. If you want to increase your RAM capacity, so you can add more RAM capacity. So it will increase your speed of your processor and the speed of your computer, and it will increase, basically, it will increase the speed of your working area, the workspace. RAM stands for random access memory. It gets the word random because information can be accessed in non-sequential order. Randomly, you can select any location. The data itself is stored together. It could be anywhere in the container or amount of RAM available. RAM is measured in bits, and 8 bits equal 1 byte. A kilobyte equal 1024 bits, and megabytes equal 1024 kilobytes. So basically, random means that if you want to select any location randomly, so you don't need to go in sequence. So it's a non-sequential order. So with the help of RAM, you can select any data location easily and randomly. So RAM basically have two main types, SRAM and DRAM. So RAM basically is used to access your data randomly. When we use the term RAM, it is used with the semiconductor memories. It is also called the semiconductor memory. It is usually taken to mean read-write memory. It is used in computers for the storage of active programs and data. The contents of RAM change continually as the computer executes the program. When computer executes the program, the contents of the RAM automatically will change. RAM plays very important role in the processing speed of the computer. If you have more RAM capacity, so it can work efficiently and fastly with the CPU. The RAM size provides large amount of information to a computer for processing and hence increase the processing speed. The major disadvantage of RAM is that it is volatile and will lose all stored information if power is turned off. Volatile means that when you will turn off your computer, your data will washed out from the RAM. So that's why it is called volatile in nature. So RAM can be classified in two types, SRAM, static RAM, and DRAM, dynamic RAM. Now, DRAM. DRAM stands for Dynamic Random Access Memory. DRAM stands for Dynamic Random Access Memory is a type of a semiconductor memory that is typically used for the data or program code needed by a computer processor to function. DRAM is a common type of a random access memory that is used in personal computers, PCs, workstations, and servers. Each DRAM memory cell is made up of a transistor and a capacitor within an integrated circuit IC, and a data bit is stored in the capacitor. So DRAM basically is made of transistors and capacitor within an integrated circuit ICs, and data can be stored in the form of bits on these capacitor. Transistor always leak a small amount. The capacitor will slowly discharge, causing information stored it to drain. Hence, DRAM has to be refreshed, given a new electronic charge every few million seconds to retain data. So it means that when you are using transistors and capacitor, so they slowly discharge and lose the information. So it will lose the information. So that's why it needs the refreshed to be refreshed again and again after some time. So DRAM has to be refreshed after some time. So during the time of refreshing, we cannot read data, we cannot write data. So that's why the DRAM, in this view, the DRAM is slow RAM, type of a slow RAM. So we are using transistors and capacitors on ICs. How does DRAM works? Memory is made of bits of data or program code data arranged in two-dimensional grid. DRAM will store bits of data in what's called a storage or memory cell consisting of capacitor and a transistor. The storage cells are typically organized in a rectangular configuration. When a charge is sent through a column, the transistors at the column is activated. A DRAM storage cell is dynamic, meaning that it needs to be refreshed or given a new electronic charge every few milliseconds to compensate for charge leaks from the capacitor. The memory cell will work with other circuits that can be used to identify rows and columns. Track the refresh process, instruct a cell whether or not to accept a charge and read or restore data from a cell. So every time DRAM needs a charge and to be refreshed to retain the power and to retain the data. So basically DRAM is the most common type of RAM in the computer. Each dynamic RAM chip contains millions of memory cells. A memory cell is an electronic switch having two states, on and off. representing binary number 1 and 0. These memory cells are made up of a transistors and a capacitor. Each memory cell can store 1 bit of information. A small amount of power is put into the cell to store 1 bit of information. The energy leaks out quickly. Dear students, the energy leaks out quickly. Therefore, computer must recharge all the cells in the memory chip many times per second. Otherwise, the information will be lost. It is used in computers as temporary memory. So dear student, next type is SRAM. SRAM pronounced as SRAM, static RAM. It is static random access memory. It keeps data in the memory as long as power is supplied to the system, unlike DRAM, which has to be refreshed periodically. So in DRAM, we need recharged and refreshed periodically, but in SRAM, it can keep your data as long as power is supplied to the system, unlike DRAM. SRAM is a type of a RAM that stores data using a static method in which the data remains constant as long as electric power is supplied to the memory chip. This is different than DRAM, dynamic RAM, which stores data dynamically and constantly needs to refresh the data stored in the memory. Because SRAM stores data statistically, it is faster and requires less power than DRAM. That's why SRAM is more faster than DRAM. SRAM is more expensive to manufacture than DRAM because it is built using more complex structure. SRAM is commonly used in smaller applications such as CPU cache memory and hard drive buffers. So dear students, SRAM works in different ways. Each memory cell of static RAM is like an electronic switch having two states, on and off. On one state represented by binary 1 and off state represented by binary 0. It does not need to be recharged. Point to be noted, it does not need to be recharged like a DRAM. It is a static memory. It can retain the power. It can save the data for a specific time period. So it requires more transistor than dynamic RAM. It is faster than DRAM and more expensive. So it is a faster memory and more expensive. Static RAM is used as cache memory in computers and hard drive buffers. Differentiate between SRAM and DRAM. SRAM is a type of a semiconductor memory that uses bistable latching circuitry flip-flop to store each bit. So flip-flop basically is a type of a register which is used to store your data for a specific time period. On the other hand, we have a DRAM, a type of a random access semiconductor memory that stores each bit of data in a separate tiny capacitor within an integrated circuit. So they need a capacitors and the transistors, and SRAM need a flip-flop like a register. So SRAM stands for static random access memory and DRAM stands for dynamic random access memory. SRAM is a very fast memory and DRAM is not as fast as SRAM. SRAM does not require refresh cycles to retain data. DRAM requires periodic refresh cycles to retain data. SRAM requires refreshing. It has more complex circuitry and timing requirement. DRAM not as complex as SRAM. SRAM used for CPU cache. DRAM used for the computer's main memory. SRAM require minimum time to access data. DRAM requires more time to access data. SRAM complex structure has flip-flop and DRAM sample structure required to. And DRAM require simple structure has transistors and capacitor. SRAM has a lower density and DRAM has a high density. SRAM is expansive and DRAM is less expansive memory. Dear students, Next is ROM. ROM is also a type of a main memory and the primary memory. ROM stands for read-only memory, the memory from which we can only read but cannot write on it. This type of memory is non-volatile in nature. Non-volatile means that when you will turn off your data, when you will turn off your computer, so your data will save automatically, it will retain back. You can get it back. The information is stored permanently in such memories during manufacture. A ROM stores such instructions that are required to start a computer. This operation is referred to a bootstrap. ROM chips are not only used in the computer but also in other electronic items like washing machine and microwave oven. So basically, ROM is a read-only memory. It is a type of a main memory, but it is non-volatile in nature. So information stored in ROM always stored permanently. You can reuse it automatically, like ROM can be used in BIOS. And when you will start your computer, so basic information is loaded on your screen is called BIOS, basic input output information. So ROM is used to save such kind of information. The advantages of ROM. The advantages of ROM are as follows. Non-volatile in nature, cannot be accidentally changed, cheaper than RAMs, easy to test, more reliable than RAMs, static and do not require refreshing. Contents are always known and can be verified. So ROM is non-volatile in nature and cannot be accidentally changed. So it's cheaper than RAMs, easy to test, more reliable than RAMs. So you can view the example and the chip of ROM on your screen. Types of ROM. ROM read-only memory can be classified further in three types. PROM, programmable read-only memory, erasable programmable read-only memory, and electrical erasable programmable read-only memory. So all these are the types of a ROM. So basically the ROM, as we discussed, ROM stands for read-only memory. The process of entering data in ROM is called programming. The ROMs cannot have their data changed once they have been programmed. Others can be erased and reprogrammed as often as required by the manufacturers. ROMs are used to store programs that are frequently required and are not to stored in them are not lost when the computer is turned off. So these are basically ROM are non-volatile memory means that programs stored in them are not lost when the computer is turned off. You can get back your program after switching on the computer, after switching on your chip. So you can get back your data. So we have three main types of ROM. So we can continue. PROM, programmable read-only memory. PROM is read-only memory that can be modified only hence by a user. The user buys a blank PROM and enters the desired contents using a PROM program. Inside the PROM chip, there are small fuses which are burnt open during programming. It can be programmed only once and it is not erasable. So point to be noted that PROM means that it can be programmed only once and it is not erasable. You cannot erase and you cannot rewrite the program in PROM. Once you can write your program in PROM. So PROM stands for programmable read-only memory, and it is a type of a semiconductor chip, and that obtained from the manufacturer is an unprogrammed state. You can purchase it in unprogrammed state and the user program it according to his requirement. It can be programmed only once. The user can program by himself and it can be programmed only once. PROM is used in electronic machines that require some information to be stored in it permanently, like microwave, washing machine, like this. Next is EPROM. EPROM stands for erasable, and programmable read-only memory. EPROM can be erased by exposing it to ultraviolet light for a duration of up to 40 minutes. Usually, an EPROM eraser achieves this function during programming. An electric charge is trapped in an insulated gate region. The charge is retained for more than 10 years because the charge has no leakage path. The light burns out all the tiny charges in the EPROM to reopen its circuit. This exposure effectively renders the chip blank again, after which you can reprogram it according to the same process as a PROM. So EPROM stands for erasable programmable read-only memory. This is a type of a ROM, can have its content erased by ultraviolet light using special circuitry outside the computer and the reprogrammed. This procedure can be carried out many times. However, the constant erasing and rewriting will eventually make the chip useless. EPROMs are generally used for programs designed for repeated use, such as BIOS, but that can be upgraded with the later version of the program. So the next is EEPROM, electrically erasable and programmable read-only memory. EEPROM is a programmable read-only memory. EEPROM is programmed and erased electrically. It can be erased and reprogrammed about 10,000 times. But erasing and programming takes about 4 to 10 milliseconds. In EPROM, any location can be selectively erased and programmed. In EEPROM, can be erased one byte at a time rather than erasing the entire chip. Hence, the process of reprogramming is flexible, but it is slow. So EPROM, which stands for electrically erasable PROM, is also being used for ROM application. The EEPROM can be altered while being used in a logic board by using special power circuits and write pulse generator. The EEPROM can work like a read-write semiconductor memory while retaining the non-volatile nature of ROMs and PROMs. This type of ROM works in a similar way to flash memory. It is used to store a computer system's BIOS and can be updated without removing it from the circuit board. So dear students, next is secondary memory. So secondary memory is also known as secondary storage. The secondary memory is accessed indirectly with the help of input-output operations. This memory is also called permanent storage, backing storage, and mass storage. Basically, your secondary storage devices and your secondary storage or memory is a permanent storage. It is used for the backup and backing storage devices and the mass storage. It is non-volatile power in nature, and data does not disappear when the computers turn off and on again. So non-volatile means that you can save your data, and when next time when you will open your computer, so you can get back your data again easily. So secondary memory is cheaper than primary memory, but it is also slower in both reading and writing. Magnetic or hard drives are the most common type of secondary memory. All modern computers usually use at least one internal hard disk drive, HDD. So basically your secondary memory is also known as backing storage or mass storage. It stores large amount of information permanently. So when you will turn off your data, when you turn off your computer, your data can save automatically. It is non-volatile in nature. In secondary memory, these are the characteristics and the types of a secondary memory. We can use diskettes, floppy disk, FDD, floppy disk drive, hard disk, sometimes called HD, and sometimes we can call it HDD, hard disk drive. USB flash drive, compact disc read-only memory, CD-ROM, digital video disc, CD recordable, CDR, and CD rewritable, CD WRW, rewritable. So these are the types of secondary memory we can use to store our data permanently. So basically, secondary storage devices are used to store information even when the computer is turned off. All the secondary storage devices are non-volatile memory. The types of secondary storage used in modern computers, and usually we have all secondary storage devices, at least one hard disk we have in our computer, HDD, and we can use CD. And as a data traveler, we can use USB flash drive. It is also called pen drive. So secondary memory and the types of a secondary memory. Fixed devices. In a fixed devices, we have hard disk drive, CD, DVD drive, and removable devices, pen drive, and flash drive, Blu-ray disc. So these are the classification of your secondary memory and the types of your secondary memory. So when we talk about the secondary memory, so we have two methods to access our data. The first is sequential access method and sequential access memory. So how your data can save in a memory. So sequential access memory and the sequential access method means the computer system must search the storage device from the beginning until the desired data is found, like magnetic tape where data is stored and processed sequentially. So sequential access device or a memory is a type in which data is accessed sequentially one after the other. A particular stored data is found by sequencing through the location until the desired data is reached. This procedure this produces access time which are much longer than those of direct access memories. So suppose there is information regarding employees of organization. To look into the information of employee number 100. The computer will have to start with employee number 1 and then go to the 2, 3, 4, so on till 100. This method is simple, but searching a data takes lots of time. So here we can check sequential access memory. So in data is stored in the form of sequence, and if you want to search the 100 number location, you have to go in the form of sequence and you have to search all numbers and pass all numbers. Then you can go to your required location and you can go your required data. You can access your required data. On the other hand, we have direct access memory, DMA, direct access memory, DMA, and is a method of transferring data from the computer's RAM to another part of the computer without processing it using the CPU. So direct memory access is a feature of a computer system that allows certain hardware subsystem to access main system memory. DMA normally occurs between an IO, input-output devices, and memory. So this is a direct access method and a random access method. So in random access method and in this type of memory, the data is accessed directly to randomly. Accessed directly or randomly. You can select any location randomly and directly. Suppose if you want to access the memory location of 8, so you can directly open that memory location. So no need to go in the form of sequence and sequential method. So you can directly open that memory location which is required. Semiconductor memories, disk memories, and optical memories are direct access memories. Direct access memories is also known as random access memory. So direct memory access is also called random access memory, means that you can select any location randomly and directly. In this method, you can select any random location. So hard disk, CDs, USB, all these are the examples of direct and random access method. So you can just open the memory and can select directly any file. So it is called random access memory and direct access memory. Types of semiconductor storage devices: magnetic tape. Then we have magnetic disk. And next we have optical disk. And then we have chip memory. All these are the types of your magnetic storage devices. These are the types of your secondary storage devices. The first of all, we have magnetic tape. So magnetic tape basically is a common form of storage for mainframe computers. Information is accessed sequentially. Massive storage for low cost, but retrieval is slow. Digital audio tape is preferred for storage on small computers. So remember that, dear student, it's an old way to store your data in the form of reels. So you can save your data in the form of reels, and you can access your data in sequential access method. You can access your data sequentially. So tape ribbon is itself stored in reels or a small cartridges or cassettes. Like audio or video tape, the magnetic tape used in computer system can also be erased and reused indefinitely. All data on a tape are automatically erased as new data are recorded in the same area. However, the information stored can be read many times without affecting the stored data. So magnetic tape and reels is an old method which is used to store your data permanently in the form of reels. So it is also used for backing storage your data. It can use to take the backup of your data easily, but now it is replaced by the new method. So in magnetic tape, it is basically consists of a plastic strip with a magnetic coated material. Bits are recorded and magnetic spots on the tape's long several tracks. Usually 7 or 9 bits are recorded simultaneously for form a character. Read-write heads are mounted on in each track. That data can be recorded and read as a sequence of character. Basically, magnetic tape is either in the form of cassettes or big reels, as you can check on your screen. So magnetic tape is slow in operation as it has sequential access data, but it is cheaper storage device. Magnetic tape drive is used to write data to and read data from a magnetic tape. These tapes are used for storing large amount of data. Modern tapes can store up to 5 TB. It is used with many computers and many mainframe for backup and So dear students, a tape is a magnetically thin coated piece of a plastic wrapped around wheels capable of storing data. Tape is less expensive than other storage medium, but it is much slower solution because it's sequential access and is often used for backing up large amount of data. Today, tape has mostly been dumped for faster and more reliable solution like disk drives, hard drives, and flash drives that are all direct access and cloud storage. So dear students, next is magnetic memory, and the types of your magnetic memory is hard disk, portable hard disk. So dear students, we have already discussed hard disk in lecture number 10. So we discussed about that hard disk is a container and have many platters which can save your data permanently for a long term. So portable hard disk is a device which is used to store your data in magnetic spots and in the form of magnetic hard disk. But the difference between the hard disk and portable hard disk is that you can move your portable hard disk easily. So portable hard drive is a compact magnetic disk, and it can plug with the help of USB cable, and you can attach with your system, and you can make and take the backup of your data, and then you can move easily. So that's why it is called the portable hard disk. So it can store up to 500 GB to 4 TB data. It consists of one or more platters which are air sealed inside the casing and connected to and powered by the USB port of computer. It is used for storing data, programs, photos, music, videos, and documents. So we can save our data, any kind of data we can save. Next is optical disk. In optical disk, we have already discussed optical disk. Optical disk basically is a plastic coated disk that can store digital data. Data is stored in optical disk is digital form by laser technology as tiny bumps on the surface. So we have discussed this optical disk and the working of optical disk in lecture number 10 already. So we will continue our lecture by discussing the Blu-ray disc, BD. Blu-ray disc is the next generation optical format developed to enable recording, rewriting, and playback of high definition video HD as well as storing large amount of data. The E was intentionally left out of the name due to the trademark restrictions. The E was intentionally left out. It's the word Blu-ray disc, but the trademark, in the trademark, intentionally they skip E, the word E. It is called Blu-ray disc BD, but we did not write E in this abbreviation. The name Blu-ray is derived from the blue violet laser. It is used to read and write to the disk. So ultraviolet rays are used to write your data in BD. The characteristics of your Blu-ray disc BD is lifespan. Blu-ray disc format is designed to stay relevant for at least 10 to 15 years. Blu-ray disc production costs are within 10% of DVD production cost. Also, a Blu-ray disc offers 5-10x the capacity. The Blu-ray disc format offers the highest capacity of any consumer media format to date. So, Blu-ray is a new type of optical storage device. Its main advantage over CD and DVD is that it has storage capacity up to 300 GB and it is also faster. The bumps on the surface of Blu-ray that represent digital information are much smaller and very density path compared to DVD. This increased the storage capacity of Blu-ray. Blu-ray discs basically are better storage devices for storing movies because they require a lot more storage. Another advantage of Blu-ray disc is their durability. They have a special coating that helps prevent scratches and marks. A Blu-ray disc you can see on your screen. So this is a Blu-ray disc which we can use to save our data. Next is flash memory, the flash drive. Flash memory is a non-volatile memory that can be electrically erased and reprogrammed. It was developed from EEPROM, electrical erasable programmable read-only memory. The flash memory is a new memory technology that allowed stored data to be saved when the memory device was disconnected from its power source. So flash memory is a latest technology, and flash drive also, it is also called the USB flash, flash drive, pen drive. These are the names of your flash memory. So these are the small and portable drives that are connected to the computer through USB port. So with the help of USB port, you can attach your flash drive and you can copy your data, files, images, video, and then you can disconnect your USB, you can put in your purse and you can move easily. So flash memory generally used in computers, television, set-up box, cell phone, digital cameras, MP3 players, global positioning system. We use the flash memories to store our data, reprogram data. Flash memory is also used in much industrial application. So memory, basically the flash memory consists of the small memory chip. There is inside we have a small memory chip which is used to save your data. So advantages and disadvantages are lightweight. These are lightweight, has a large capacity storage, can be used as a backup. Flash memory is non-volatile. Disadvantages are so small it is easily misplaced or stolen without knowing. Fast access, do not have a high transfer rate as magnetic hard disk drive. A virus can easily pass from one computer to the next computer. So basically the flash memory is used to transfer your data. So it is small in size and compact, so you can carry it easily. So on the other hand, we can also use the memory cards for the same purpose. So memory cards are also like a chip memory, and we can use these memory cards. We can insert memory card in our mobile and in smartphone, and then we can make the copy of data and insert into the laptop. So all these are the examples of your flash memory and the chip memory. So dear students, Alhamdulillah, we have finished chapter number 2. So the important points we discuss in this chapter is computer memory is a storage device that holds instruction, data, and the results produced after processing by the computer. Main memory is a high-speed IC chip memory that stores programs and data that the computer is currently executing. We also discussed cache memory is a small amount of high-speed semiconductor memory which exists inside the microprocessor, and it is faster than main memory. Then we discussed registers are small memory units inside the processor used to temporarily store binary information and pass it on the other parts of the processor or main memory during the execution of instruction. Then ROM is read-only memory used to store small programs that are frequently required and are not to change during the operation of the computer. Secondary memory, also known as backing storage, has huge storage capacity and stores information permanently. Optical disk is a plastic-coated disk that can store data in digital form using laser technology. Has a thin bumps on the surface. Flash memory is a type of a EEPROM. It is solid-state storage device having non-moving part, and it is used as a hard disk. Now, dear students, we have exercise and MCQs. Select the best answer for the following MCQs. Number 1, which of the following is the fastest memory? RAM, ROM, cache memory, USB flash. Yes, the cache memory is the fastest memory which is used to hold your data. How much is 1 MB memory equal to? 1024 bytes, 1024 TB, 1024 KB, 1024 GB. So it's a MB, so it is equal to 1024 KB. Which of the following is volatile memory? RAM, ROM, PROM, and EEPROM. So RAM is a volatile memory. Which of the following has highest storage capacity? DVD, Blu-ray disc, CD, and floppy disk. So yes, the Blu-ray disc. USB flash drive is what type of memory? Magnetic memory, optical memory, electronic memory, and primary memory. So USB is electronic memory. Which of the following memory devices has the smallest storage capacity? RAM, cache memory, CD, and memory card. B, cache memory. Which of the following storage devices is absolute nowadays? Hard disk, CD, memory card, floppy disk. Yes, the floppy disk. Which memory communicate directly with the CPU? Main memory, secondary memory, hard disk, USB flash. So the answer is main memory. Which of the following memory devices has sequential access to data? Magnetic disk, optical memory, magnetic tape, or a chip memory? Magnetic tape. Where are the registers located? Inside the hard disk, inside DVD, inside RAM, inside microprocessor. Yes, inside micro. So dear students, Alhamdulillah, we have finished 2 chapters, chapter number 1 and chapter number 2. So thank you so much, students, for paying attention. Take care of yourself, and Allah Hafiz.